Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Thursday. What day are we on? Thursday, March 9th, 2017 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today has an evolution. So the first evolution is, what worth am I allowing today? Is basically, what worth am I allowing in this moment? And then it was like, well, but we're in Pisces, so it's not so much about allowing, although that is, moving past the resistance. Then it shifted into, what worth am I flowing in this moment? Because of the flow energy. And then that kind of shifted. I was like, whoa, if I combined flowing and allowing, it's what worth am I following in this moment. And I kind of like that evolution of things. And I just want you to pay attention to what worth are you allowing this moment to be? What value are you giving to this moment? How are you working with this energy? What are you following? What are you allowing? What are you resisting? And just paying attention to that as we move through today. So, as we move through today, we have the moon in Leo. This moon in Leo is building us into the full moon coming on Sunday, that full moon in Virgo. So, as we build into full moon energy, we feel the emotional content within us, flux. We're waves. We're made of water. So just as, the waves increase with a full moon, the waves within us, the emotion within us increases and moves through as we build into this energy. So it's paying attention to what's moving through. And I'm going to go into this a little bit before I get into the next thing. Something that came up in my session today, and I've actually been working on within myself, is the feelings of being heard. And that's been one of my wounds, is that I've never felt heard. Whether it was, as a child, explaining things to my mom, or, being a nanny, trying to tell children to put on your pants, there's this feeling of not being heard. And that came up with a client today. And that came up as I was looking at this astro. Our feelings are that same thing. Are you hearing your feelings? Do you have that vulnerability? I don't want to call it a wound, but do you have that vulnerability within you of feeling that you haven't felt heard? And if so, are you healing yourself? Are you listening to? Are you honoring the feelings as they come up? This is a great time to get in touch with it, because this is a resonant point. And many of us don't know how to feel our feelings because we've been told that it's not okay to feel your feelings. You don't need to feel that way. Don't feel that way. This is your opportunity to be the parent to your inner child with this moon in Leo and be like, well, what are you really feeling? How do you need to be heard? What do you need to express through this energy? And as we build into this full moon, I guarantee that the inner child within you is wanting to express in one way or another. So this is an opportunity to feel heard by yourself and start there. Lala just gave me a look. She's like, you're gonna hear me? You're gonna hear me out? Here she comes running over. What a cute kitty. This is your opportunity to feel heard by yourself, because that's where it starts. If you're not feeling heard outside, yes, there may be deeper wounds. Mine came from Atlantis. I've been talking a little bit about my Atlantis understanding discoveries, but this is an opportunity to see where you can show up for yourself. Be that inner child, be that inner parent. And so, this is part of the building up the moon. Beyond working out, claws, beyond working with this, we have Mars today. Mars finishing up in Aries. So Mars finishing up in Aries, 29 degrees, that fiery energy. Now, we talked yesterday about Mars at 29. Mars representing this action energy, which can be infiltrated or assimilated, or I don't know what the right word is that I want to use here, but understood through the energies of frustration and action through aggression and frustration, or through passion and pursuit, that motivation of the passion of like, yes, this is a yes, a yum or a yuck. I personally do not feel that anger feels good to me. I know that there are some out there who feel motivated and good by anger, but I feel motivated and good when that's my yum, is the passion. So really honoring that energy, letting that passion move me forward. This is going to be up today. This is up alongside of these Leo moon feelings, these feelings of the inner child, the feelings of being heard. So, this can be expressed in multiple ways. It may be expressed through joyful play. It also may be expressed through frustration coming up, frustration and fighting, that aggression. So notice, again, what are these feelings, whether the passion or the frustration, what are they saying? What is your body saying to you? What is your inner child saying to you? This is a divine opportunity to get into this and to find some healing, because anytime we hear ourselves out, when you allow the feelings, as you allow yourself to process and get into the feelings, healing is happening. Feeling is healing. Feeling what's going on in your body, that's the healing. That's being heard. So this is a divine opportunity. And if you're feeling that frustration and it doesn't feel good to you, if that frustration isn't a motivating factor for you, then this is an opportunity to be like, where am I feeling suppressed? Where am I feeling that I am suppressing myself? Where am I holding myself back in this case? And how can I shift this energy? Now, Mars is then going to shift later in the day. It is going to shift at what time? 4:34 p.m. Pacific time. It's going to shift into Taurus. Now, that initial shift may feel a little, especially when Mars changes signs, I find that I get tired. But this is interesting because I also feel very wired usually, wired, hyper energetic as we build into the full moon. So you may get the tired, wired feeling. Just notice and be good to yourself, treat yourself well. I think that's a big part of Mars in Taurus, treating yourself well. Now, depending on what astrologers you listen to, in traditional astrological schools of thought, Mars in Taurus is not a good placement. I do not subscribe to any of those things. I will never say that a planet in a sign is not a good placement. I will never say that it's a bad thing. I believe it's all working for us. Are there challenges in every sign combination? Yes, there's always a challenge, but I will never say that it's a bad thing. So Mars and Taurus, what makes it interesting is Mars wants action. I do believe that Taurus is usually pretty motivated. Taurus is like, I want to build things, but Taurus is kind of like the turtle. So the turtle in the hair, the tortoise in the hair. The tortoise, which is like slow and steady wins the race, and Aries is the hare. It's like, can we get there? Can we get there? Can we get there? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? So the combination can be a little bit interesting. Patience is a process with Mars and Taurus. I wish you could see this little face like looking up at me adoringly right now. She's so ridiculous. So ridiculous. The most ridiculous cat ever. I love this little kitty, which is why I tolerate the nails that are going like this right now. Mars in Taurus. Patience. Now, where this patience is also feeding into is being in the moment. Taurus, to me, Taurus in traditional astrology is connected to Venus. So it has that energy of beauty, value, which we've been talking about, especially as Venus is retrograde. So Venus co-rules this energy. And that retrograde may be also bringing things in, slowing them down, making them groovy, Earth style, Earth timing. But in Mimi astrology and several other astrologers, I kind of think of Taurus energy is earth energy. So this is a chance to slow down and get present with the earth vibration. Mars in Taurus is a great opportunity for getting into the sensuality of living. And the sensuality of living isn't about what's happening in this next moment. Let's get to this next moment. The sensuality of living is like, what's going on right now? What does the air smell like? What am I feeling? What am I smelling? What am I tasting? What am I touching? Getting into the sensual nature of living. Can you take action based on the sensual? Can you let the worth of the moment be enhanced by the sensualities that are being offered by this beautiful, wonderful planet that we are? Gaia blooming. Gaia is Mother Earth. So this is an opportunity to get into the blooming. And I'm going to show you one of my cards that I have. Two came out from the inner child tarot cards. One of them is the Four of Wands, and here we have these fairy folk working with the land, working with the soil. So this is our opportunity. We're heading into spring, you know, and so this may be a time to get outside and start planting. If you're in a place that is, you know, doesn't have snow on the ground at this time, this may be a time to get into nature and get into that. You know, there's something healing. Soil has ions for you. It's healing for you to literally get your hands dirty. And I mean, I get it. I don't like getting dirt underneath my fingernails. It's not fun to get it out, but it's worth it for the goodness that it gives you. Mother Earth wants to offer you things. So while we're going to have this patience process during Mars in Taurus, I wrote down a thing earlier, actually. Where did I write it? Oh, the delicate dance between action and patience. Mars and Taurus. Somebody posted that yesterday. I was like, oh, that's so perfect. It's so perfect for this energy. This is what it's going to be, the delicate dance between action and patience. And letting your action in any moment be enough. It takes time to build. It takes time to grow a garden. And so we're just going to have to get in that. And meanwhile, find our joy, find that passion through presence and allowing the sensuality of the moment and not getting frustrated as the world takes time to bloom our gardens. I mean, it's just the thing. Venus is retrograde. This is a call within. Mars and Taurus, maybe, you know, outward focused, moving outwards, but still, it's finding that worth and taking pleasure in the unfolding of whatever it is that you're growing. Now, just to finish up the other astro stuff going on, like I said, the moon in, Leo all through the day, bringing up the feelings, being that inner parent. This moon in Leo is connecting to Venus today and is connecting to Jupiter today. So both of those energies are retrograde. So this is this inner process. As we're moving into this energy, this inner process is taking us. Pay attention to what your inner process is doing for you. If you can follow your guidance, tuning within, here we have this source card, this expansion of creativity. This to me is like a card of like conception. So there are things coming about. Follow the seeds, follow the breadcrumbs, follow the energy, and trust what it's doing. We also begin the day, I talked about this in yesterday's horoscope, but we begin the day with the sun connecting to Pluto. And so as we learn our worth, as we allow these feelings to be healed, we're releasing old stuff. I have the past lives card, I've got the clinging to the past card, and I've got breakthrough. So there's breakthroughs if you can honor your process. The breakthroughs happen when you're there and available for it, not when you're like, I gotta push it, I gotta push it, I gotta push it. When you're pushing it, it's so mind energy, you're so stuck up here that you can't allow it to sink in. There's allowing. Sun in Pisces. This is about allowing. It's about following the flow of your guidance. So like I said, I got the Four of Wands, working these soils, all of them, all of the soils out there, working these things, tending to your seeds, tending to your physical process. And then I'm not going to read this whole thing because I read it the other day, but this is such a great card. It's the Guide of Wands. That is the Pied Piper card. And what it's saying, it's time to follow your inner guide. Right there. Your ingenious, inventive brand of thinking. Don't follow an outer leader piping a hypnotic tune. Listen to the gentle refrains of your inner music. Be playful, dance, sing. Let your inner artistic gifts blossom. Pay homage to your creative spirit. Pay homage to your inner child, which contains all the seeds of your creativity for you to burst forth now as Gaia's garden. So, Mars and Taurus, we're going to flow with this. We're going to enjoy the sensual things of life, and we're going to allow the feeling to be healing. So that's it for today. Book a reading if you want to dive in deeper, and I will see you tomorrow. Namaste.